Here we go. All right. I'm so excited to be here, you guys, with Steve and Scott Christian Brothers Lending. And I'm gonna do a quick story because as you should all be doing, you should be going visiting your open houses in your market. And I went to one in Laguna Beach, and Scott was there with his 80s music playing and the barbecue going, and it is a party. So they've done a couple of those for me, and when they're available, they can do them for you, if it's in the right area, whatever. But I'm gonna let them introduce themselves and tell you guys a little bit about what they do, how long they've been doing it, and in what states they're working, because we have the referral sources for all over the country. So go ahead.
So I'm Steve Christian. It's my brother Scott from here.
Go ahead. I'm Scott Christian. Yeah, the side view profile, front view.
I don't know where you are on your screen, but that's where they are on my screen.
We have been in the business since 1986. We have been on both sides of the field. We've played in the real estate game for the first half of our lives, and we've been in the lending side since I don't know, just the turn of the century. That's how old we are. But
we've been a team ever since. Yeah, I mean, we started out as S&S Christian Brothers, and now we're just Christian Brothers. But when we first got in real estate, we did 8 first month, 23 our first quarter, and I guess it would be early 90s. We started doing lending.
Yeah, so we know your side of the field is what we're trying to say. We know how to help you, and that's why, like Patti mentioned, the open houses, we're big about promoting
and video. You're doing great videos, and you're helping agents do the videos at the open houses.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're really good at helping you structure your financing and your offers to get accepted. So we can take a buyer who's going out to get a loan, compete with a cash offer by fully approving the transaction, removing that as a contingency to your transaction. Of course, you'll still have the appraisal contingency, but you can have a conversation with your borrower about that if it's competitive.
Well, that's huge.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's what we're going to need in the market that's coming.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, just so you know, the market's really, there's some areas like I'm doing a lot of transactions in Visalia. We're working with some people out in Riverside, and a lot of those areas they're moving quick. They're getting multiple offers. So
that's what I'm seeing too. Yeah. It's only going to get more so as the year progresses.
I mean, is it not unbelievable that over 7% interest rates are being advertised, and yet there's still multiple offers on almost every listing? It's unbelievable. What is going to happen when they go under 7, when they get to 6 or even maybe 5? It's just
I dreamt they went to 6.1. I so need to get a life.
Yeah. So you got to be prepared. Your buyers need to be prepared. They need to be fully approved and ready to pull the trigger at any given moment. And that's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to help you.
Yeah. So we'll go all the way from start to finish of the loan process on a TBD, which is to be determined property. That's no property yet. They haven't found a property yet. We're going to go all the way to the finish line. We're going to run VOEs. We're going to run verification.
That's a verification of employment.
We're going to do verification verifications of employment, which means we mail something out to the lender and they verify the that they work there and all the information, which is part of the loan process that typically happens after you got a property. But we get all that done up front, so that way now you're working with a fully qualified buyer, and Christian Brothers will put our money where our mouth is, and we'll actually let you write into the offer that if we don't close on time, we'll pay the sellers per diem until we do. With per diem means we'll make their house payment, whatever their holding cost of that home is, house tax, insurance, all of that.
The daily rate.
We'll cover that cost if we don't close on time. The thing is, we don't not close on time.
And I got to tell you guys, Scott and I are working on with a client right now, and the verification of employments are taking forever. Yeah. You don't want to get into escrow and then have some HR department slow down your deal. It completely sucks the wind out of it.
And it happens. And that's the sad part, is that people look at their tax returns and their W-2s and their pay stubs and say, okay, they're good. But then when the verification of employment comes back, it's a whole different ballgame. And that's what we try to avoid. And that's what we do avoid is having that
a very
upfront.
good example is somebody who works for the same company, but they went into sales. So they were, maybe they were some kind of an admin for the company, and now they're in sales. So now we're averaging their income, but we're finding out that, well, now 60% of their income comes from sales or from commissions or bonuses, and we don't have a 2-year history. So all of a sudden we can't use that income anymore. So there's a lot of things like that you want to make sure you check that out up front. I mean, we'll still give you a pre-qual, run their credit, run the DU. DU is desktop underwriting. It's an underwriting program that we do based on the information that we put in. But unfortunately, sometimes garbage in, garbage out. So we like to go all the way down the road with the underwriters.
And this is what you need when you're submitting an offer, especially in a competitive market. And one other thing I love, when I submit an offer, I'm going to ask the lender to video text the listing agent. So they know we are a well-oiled machine. Everything is done. It's not just me and not just relying on me. They're actually hearing from the lender directly.
100%.
So it just carries a lot of weight.
Yeah, every agent that I work with, I ask that they send me their contact information on the listing agent so that we can get a hold of them as well and let them know how great this buyer is, not just how much they love the house, but how qualified they are, right? Yeah. So it helps.
The conversation goes, hi, Susie Listall. Listen, this is Steve Christian. I'm with Christian Brothers Lending. We have we've taken our time to get all the documentations from Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Not only have we seen their tax returns and got the transcripts, we got their verifications of employment, their verification of deposits. In fact, the underwriter is so secure with this purchase with these borrowers that they're willing to allow us to offer a guaranteed close, meaning that if we don't close this transaction on time, we will cover the per diem until we do.
That is huge.
Strong, yes. And and another note that we talked about earlier before this, but our rates, our programs, I mean, we're second to none. I really do believe in.
You said something before we started recording about your company dropped something to be more competitive. Will you explain that real quick?
Yeah, and a lot of it is, to help our borrowers,
qualify.
I mean, it's tougher and tougher. So even though we had a very competitive strategy, we actually went to the owners and said, we need you to give a little bit of your margin and we'll give some of ours. The margin is the percentage that's made over and above what the cost of the money is. And that margin is what all lenders charge because that's the way that they make money for the time that they put into it. So our margins are very thin right now in this kind of environment. So we do and not only can we do in-house lending where we do direct lending in-house, a lot of our stuff goes that way, but we also can broker out. We can do every type of loan you can imagine. We even have manufactured homes.
Kind of a double bonus because you usually have one or the other. And if they're totally in-house, they don't have access to every single thing on the planet. But when you can also broker it out and have those relationships, that's huge. Because
we have 12 different relationships with HELOCs. So HELOCs didn't used to be done but wasn't a product you got through a broker or a lender. You had to go to the bank. Well, now we've got we've got stated HELOC loans.
Really?
Yeah, for somebody who wants to put an ADU in their backyard and they can do a stated HELOC. ADU is auxiliary dwelling unit.
There's no excuse for someone not to want to try to buy a home. They don't even need money anymore. I mean, literally, we have down payment assistance programs. I mean, my God, just apply, right? I mean, you don't
cheaper to buy than rent.
Yeah. You don't need to make a whole lot of money anymore. It's just it's crazy what these programs are out there that are helping people get into homes.
That's awesome. So you guys, I want to suggest that you reach out to, I'm going to put the Scott and Steve's contact information below the post. Reach out, have a conversation with them, get to know them, do an open house, have them bring a barbecue. And let's sell some houses. Oh, one final question. What other states are you licensed in?
We're a lot.
Great question.
Texas,
there's a few of them.
Arizona,
Florida,
Nevada.
Tennessee, local ones.
Quite a few.
Call me and we can give you more details.
And if we're not, we have a lot of relationships. So the greatest thing is we know a lot of people. So if we're kind of your financial point, come to us because we're familiar with it. You don't have to do the homework. We know it. We'll say, okay, it's not us. We're going to.
And as realtors, we shouldn't be talking about any of this stuff. Leave it to the lenders. Yeah.
Yeah. It's you're keep it separate.
Yes. Thank you guys so much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.